So my name is Jummy Brown. As you may know, I am the owner of Spice Childcare Services. A little bit about me. I love children. I'm a little bit relaxed, but I'm fun. I'm outgoing. I love to sleep. I love to watch movies, rom-coms, romantic comedies. If you don't like romantic comedies, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm a very outgoing, fun, God-fearing woman. I just got married as well a few months ago, so it's been a little bit of a journey that I've been going on over the past few months. A few more things about me. I'm the youngest of two, so I have an older sister. We're originally from Nigeria. However, I was born in the United States, so I grew up more in the North American setting and set. However, I'm still very deeply rooted in my culture. My parents are Yoruba, the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. So I can speak Yoruba a little bit, as well as I understand it. So that's something that I really try to root into my business and being a Black-owned business in Alberta. So a few other things about me is that I really take pride in helping children who look like me to be able to succeed and just know that whatever opportunity comes their way, they should take advantage of it and use their potentials to the fullest. Yeah. So growing up, I've always wanted to be a teacher, like from when I was, maybe 3 years old. As long as I can remember anyways, I've always wanted to be a teacher. And then growing up, and like I said earlier, my parents are originally from Nigeria. So coming from an immigrant background, as we all know, the stereotypical 4 options that you have: doctor, lawyer, engineer, nurse. Those are the only options that you have, right? Being a Nigerian child. So, my dad, when I was in high school, I was in my last year of high school, and he was like, okay, so what courses are you taking? What's the plan? What schools are we applying for? You're good at math and science. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good at math and science, but my parents knew I always wanted to be a teacher. And they're like, my mom was like, there's already too many teachers. Your grandpa was a teacher, your auntie is a teacher, everybody's a teacher. We don't need any more teachers in this family. Find something else. My dad's like, okay, you know what? You're good at math and science, engineering. That is what you're going to do. And for me, I don't like school. So I was like, what is something that can make me money that still has to do with my passion, which was children, and still make money? So I was like, okay, I'll be a pediatrician, which is, after doing research, realized was a child doctor, basically. So, hey, doctor, I have to go to school for 12 years. No, thank you. And then you have to now specialize in pediatrics. I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. It's like, you know what? Okay, let's do pharmacy. That's 6 years. Still a little bit more than the 4 years I was hoping for. I could still work with children. But then that 6 years it was doing me one kind. So I was like, okay, let's just do the engineering. So now figuring out which engineering path. It was mechanical, chemical, petroleum, all these things. And I'm very hands-on. So, like I said, there's only me and my sister, right? So there's no boys in our family. So I was the boy of the family, changing things, light bulbs, fixing things with my dad. I'm like, let's do mechanical. I think I'll be good at that. So, and mechanical engineering was only 4 years. I'm like, praise God. 4 years, the money at the end of the day is still the same as pharmacy. Cool, let's do it. So I did 4 years in that. And then after graduating, I just realized that long term, being a mom, raising kids, being a wife, I wouldn't be able to do engineering to the best of my ability, because there's different aspects of engineering. And for me, I would want to be out in the field. I don't want to do office work. I want to be in the rigs, get out there, get my hands dirty. And most people that do that in engineering, you're gone for 10 days, back for 2 days. So doing that long term just wasn't it for me. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me go do the education that I wanted to do. I gave my dad his certificate for engineering. It was done. My parents were happy. They were proud. Like, yeah, okay, at least she has a backup plan. So actually, while I was doing engineering in my last year, I went to school to do education, and I went to do early learning and childcare. I originally wanted to be a kindergarten teacher anyways, so the course that I took was only a 2-year course, and it was called early learning and childcare. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just do that. It's not a teacher, it's not a bachelor of education, but it still gets me doing what I want to do, which is working with children. So I went into that for 2 years, finished the program, finished my engineering. That same year I finished my first year of childcare. And so that journey started. Was working in daycares. I love babies, like, so 12 months to like 2 years old, like a year. That year is my favorite age group to work with. I worked for about 2 or 3 years, and then I got an opportunity to help a daycare open up. So in Alberta, there's level 1, level 2, level 3. So I had that level 3 education and certificate to be able to help an owner of a daycare. So basically the person who has all the money to start up a daycare, because here in Alberta it's quite expensive to open up a daycare. So they just needed somebody at the certificate that can help with the regulations and stuff. So I did that. Then I also worked with them for about a year, and then I went off with COVID, and then I went back with them. So I had the opportunity to do that, and I'm like, it seems like I like this management side as well. And I also had the opportunity to create my own vision of what I believe childcare should be like, instill my own values, instill my own beliefs into the policies that we had, into the policies that were created. So I had the opportunity to do that. So I got my foot into that management side. Then I went into another daycare where I was similar situation. It was the first year starting out. However, it was in a school setting. So I got to work with children from kindergarten up until grade 6. So that was another aspect. So I was also in a Christian school, which was something, I'm a Christian as well. So that was something that I was able to value and use the school's curriculum and mix it with my own values and beliefs and be able to run that daycare. And so while I was doing that, I was like, okay, you know what? I think I want to open up my own daycare. But like I said earlier, it's a little bit more expensive to do that. So I was like, okay, let's start off small scale, day home, see how it runs. The maximum is 6 children, see how that is, the revenue, and kind of, because I'm not really a business savvy person, right? I was just doing childcare because that's what I love. It was my passion. I've always wanted to be a teacher and educate children. So went into that and I'm like, okay, this is good so far. It seems like something that I can move on a bigger scale, make money. Like I mentioned earlier, I went into engineering because of the money. So make some money, but still doing something that I love and something that I can create my own policies and create what I'm instilling into the future generation, especially for children of color. So not just Black children, children like Filipino children or immigrant children, basically, because that's how I came into Canada, was as an immigrant. Although I was born in the States, I grew up as an immigrant child, just based off of the color of my skin, right? So just instilling some values into those children is something that I wanted to do. So I've been running my day home now, glory to God, for about a year, and I've actually just applied for the government's, there's a new agreement that Alberta has actually implemented, where it's $10 a day universal childcare. So I've actually applied for that, and hopefully by God's grace that will be kind of perfected, and then I'll be able to become a childcare agency. So I've gone from being one day a private day home to the possibility of becoming an agency for other day home owners who want to expand and also still be a part of instilling their values and their beliefs into the children, into the new community that is coming up. So that's kind of been my journey on where I started, on what I wanted to be when I grew up, the education journey that I've gone on to, and where I am now. Let me start off with the bad parts, I guess. The bad part, I guess, with me growing, I want to say growing, like starting was easy enough to do. It's the growth part, right? Of course, for all business, as a new entrepreneur, growing your business is difficult. I think for me, the main thing that I faced, which is what she said as well, right, is just having people have the faith in you and your business and your vision for why you started this business, right? Most of the challenges that I faced were just that over familiarity, I guess, in that sense. So a lot of people from my church and just people within the Black community, they were just like, oh wow, you're starting a business, awesome, I have kids, my kids are going to go to your daycare. But there's a catch behind it. So they want to support you and they wanted to support me. However, there was a catch, like, oh, I need a discount before I can come to you. What makes you, and they're asking me, what makes you different from other childcare centers? What makes you different from this daycare and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, number one, I'm Black owned. Number two, I'm somebody that wants to support you based off of your values and what I value. So if we have a similar mindset in that, how much you charge doesn't matter to me. because I know that what you're giving me is what I want my child to exhibit in their lives and to have, right, and to learn. However, it was the case for most parents, but I felt that because we had the same values and because we had that connection, that over familiarity, one main thing was that there was a requirement for discounts. So it's like, oh, okay, but I know you, so we're family, you need to give me a discount. It was more like a need, like I had to give you a discount or else I'm going to this other place. Although they know deep down that this other place is not going to give them what they wanted, people would rather do that than to support me as a business. For whatever reason, I'm still not too sure why. I don't know if it was a pride thing or maybe it's just like they felt as if, okay, they felt as if I was too proud to offer a discount. It's like, oh, you're a nobody. So what makes you think that you can offer market rates for being a nobody kind of thing? Yeah, so that's some of the challenges that I face. The good things that I face in similar situations were people who I have families who came to my daycare, word of mouth. They're just like, oh yes, my child is here. She's a little bit more expensive than most places, but it's what I want my child to learn. What she teaches, what she educates my children is what I want my child to learn. She instills the Christian values. That is what I want my child to grow up with. She teaches them their development, so she grows them in all aspects. Of course, we all want our children to be smart in academics and be the best in their class, but she also teaches them social skills, cognitive skills, emotional skills, how to regulate their emotions instead of crying and screaming. Okay, let them use their words and communicate. So that was definitely some good comments and feedbacks that I've gotten back after this 1 year of operating. And those are things that make me be like, okay, you know what I'm doing is meaningful to these parents, right? So all the other parents who are like, oh, you have to give me a discount or I'm gonna go somewhere else because of XYZ, right? Yeah, so those are kind of been my challenges and good things with growing and developing my business over the last year. So in terms of COVID, I don't know if it's the grace of God or what, but I've actually haven't had to close down my business yet due to COVID. There's lots of policies and things in place that my daycare has been implementing. We strictly follow the government of Alberta guidelines as well as Alberta Health Services guidelines. So there's two different guidelines. They're similar in some way, but there's some government of Alberta, I would say, is a little bit more strict than Alberta Health Services in terms of the restrictions. So or the guidelines, sorry. So yeah, it's been for me, it's been awesome. I honestly thank God for the 1 year not having to close down. Nobody tested positive for COVID. None of the children, none of my staff. So that's honestly been a blessing and a nice I guess gift for being in 1 year. A new business, not really knowing what to do, right? And with COVID going on and that whole chaos, we were still solid. So that's awesome. I give God glory for that. In terms of financial, maybe not even financial, but just support and stuff from the government and being a woman in government, because I am a private day home, I didn't really qualify for some of those incentives, I would say. I did get featured on the Black Teachers Association page on Instagram. So I did get featured on that. So just lots of recognition and support in that way. And some families donated, some people I didn't even know. I've got some donations from that feature and stuff. So that was nice. However, because I am a private day home, I didn't really qualify for any of those BDC, women entrepreneurs, Black women empowerments and things like that. So yeah, I would honestly say, and I'm probably going to go back a bit into when I was growing up. So growing up, like I said, I'm a child from an immigrant family, and so my parents always wanted us to kind of move away from that blackness, I guess. So growing up, my parents sent us to, I don't want to say an all-white school, but we went to an all-white. So I was the only Black girl in all of my classes growing up, even up until grade 12. I was the only Black girl in this 21st century, right? The neighborhood that we lived in, my parents struggled, paid a little bit extra money to live in the rich neighborhoods growing up in the States. So growing up, I didn't really have that representation of somebody that looks like me in childcare. And so that's another reason why I really started this, is to have somebody that have the child look at me and be like, wow, she's on top, right? Like she's the manager of a daycare. She owns her own daycare. she's successful, right? And she's just as equivalent or just as important as the white person that owns a daycare. Same position, same amount of money that is made, but still she looks different. She looks like me. So if there's any politicians and people out there that are listening, just, I guess, advice I would say is just to actually take a look at the Black persons or the persons of colors, their values, their beliefs. What makes them different from somebody else who qualifies for that grant over somebody else? Why are there not enough or same amount of grants available or opportunities available to help grow a Black business than there is for a white business? I strongly believe that it's just based off of values and beliefs, and it depends on the families and your target audience on who you're trying to get to believe in your vision, right? And I know most parents, they want their child to be smart, they want their child to develop, whether you're Black, white, purple, right? So yeah, I think that's the main thing that I would say, that we're out here, we're Black, we're proud, we're women, and we do offer the same values and beliefs and education to children out there within our communities. Like you touched on it already, right? It's the main thing I would say to parents out there is notice your child's environment and your child's character, right? And also listen to your child. I think that's the main thing that's growing up, I guess, like I said, being from an immigrant family, growing up, our parents, we have this already predestined way. Okay, I came here so that my child can be better, can do A, B, C, D. This is the box I'm putting them in. They have to be great. I didn't come all the way thousands and thousands of miles for them not to be great, right? Or for them not to succeed. And just also having an open mind as parents as well, right? An open mind to the opportunities that are out there. For instance, my parents didn't know that owning a daycare was a possibility for me, or for even a Black person in this day and age, right? Because, okay, how would you get customers? How would you pay for this? How would you pay for this? Not knowing that there's grants out there, there's scholarships, there's word of mouth, there's social media, there's so many things out there right now that can allow for endless possibilities of things. So having an open mind, for one, I would say from the parent side. Another thing from the parent side, like I said, just listening to your child. So if you see that they have a passion for something, or they're always talking about it, although you may think it's nonsense, or it's like, this is just a hobby, you can do this for fun, right? It's like, I'm not saying don't do it for fun. It can be a dream kind of thing. Just listening to them and, okay, my child is really passionate about this. What can I advise this child to do, or to research, or to look into, to be able to make money off of this and be successful, right? Because that's our parents, that you guys just want us to be successful. Agreed, right? So trying to listen to that child, okay, how can I help this child be successful in this of what they want to do? Instead of being like, I'm not sure how you can be successful here, but I know for sure how you can be successful here. So go this way, right? So it will take some, not only research and work on the child side to present to you as the parent, but also on the parent side as well. Be like, okay, what is my child? Why are they so passionate about it? Asking those questions to your child, having those conversations with your child, right? So more going in for having a conversation than to more telling. I think that was something that for me personally, it was more of like, I'm telling you, this is what you're going to do. They tried to use like, oh, you're good at math and science, so it should be easy for you to do this. Like, it's not that I'm forcing you. You're good at it. It's natural to you to be an engineer. Like, you're not going to suffer, right? So that was kind of how my parents used that for me. I mean, they tried, right? They didn't just say, you're doing it because I said you're doing it. You're gonna suffer and do it. You're not good at math, by force you'll be good at math, right? So they kind of used that to trick me. I wouldn't say trick, but yeah. So that's something I would say for parents, definitely listening to them, having an open mind yourself as a parent, and also just how do I say this? Encouraging them to go with that passion. Yeah. My younger self, 10 years ago, I probably would have just been graduating high school. So I would tell myself, honestly, I'm very rebellious. So I don't know if this is something I should say to other children, but for me, I would say to myself, just go with your guts, right? And pray about it. Go with what God is telling you to do. So for me, I would have just went straight into Bachelor of Education anyways. I wouldn't have wasted 4 years in engineering. I've never worked as an engineer ever. Like, I've never used the degree. Maybe if I want to make some more money to open up that daycare to get that extra income, I might. But yeah, no, I've never used my engineering degree. So I would say honestly, do what I don't want to say your heart desires. Like I said, I'm very rebellious, so I'm trying to choose my words carefully for all of y'all out there. But no, do you on basic level. Explain to your parents, and I think having that conversation as well with your parents is very important, right? Just being like, hey, mom, dad, I know you want me to do this. I know you want me to go this route. However, this is what I'm passionate about. I've prayed about this. God has shown me a way through this, or I've researched this. These are the possibilities. These are the different ways. If I fail, this is my backup plan. So just going to your parents in confidence, that's something that I don't think I had the confidence to do to my parents back then. So definitely having the confidence to sit your parents down and just be real with them and just be like, hey, like, this is what I'm doing. I know you don't agree, but I hope that you trust in your abilities that you have raised me with, and trust in the things that you've instilled in me to make the right choices and succeed. Honestly, I would just tell you, just do it. Go for it. The possibilities out there are endless. So even if you go into education and you change your mind on the way, that's fine, right? That's totally okay. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. You have to have that confidence in yourself. And if you're struggling a little bit, find somebody who has done it. So find a mentor, find a coach, find somebody that you trust. It may even be your best friend, somebody that will pray with you about it, somebody that will be able to kind of guide you or give you, let's say you don't know even where to start with research, somebody that you know is good at research. Let them help you research some things. But just honestly, go out there. You can do it. You're strong, and you will be. It's not a question. If your mind is set on it, you will be successful. You got it, girl. You can do it. Okay, so we do have a website, so it's www.spicechildcare.com. On that website, you'll find a little bit more about us, what we do, the different services that we offer. We don't only just offer day home services, we also offer nanny services, babysitting, respite. We also do weddings, birthdays, bigger events, things like that. So we do face painting and stuff for the kids, jumpy castle and things like that. And then you can also on that website, you can book a tour. We also have social media platforms on Facebook. You can go to Spice Childcare Services. You can contact us there, or on Instagram at Spice Childcare. So that is our Instagram handle, and you can contact us anytime, or you can give us a call or text at 587-938-4233.
Thank you, Jimmy, for being part of this, and I hope that people are able to contact you and continue to help grow this amazing business that you have.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.